Hello everyone, how are you all students? Yes, students, in our previous class we have studied about the elements and their occurrence and about the uses of some common metals. You all know that we have 92 metals are present on the earth, but we have studied about the uses of only those metals which we are using in our day-to-day life. Okay students, now as I know about the complexity of the chemical properties of metals as well as non-metals, that's why I want to repeat two properties daily so that all the properties will get recalled and maybe the problems, the doubts of the students will get clear. So let's start with the formation of ions for today. Yes student, it is the first property that we have studied in this chapter. Formation of ions is very important as it is based on the number of electrons which are present in the outermost shell of any element, whether it is a metal or a non-metal. Okay, clear? Now, to know that how many electrons are present in the outermost shell, you have to remember two things. One, the atomic number of that particular element. If you know the atomic number, you can easily get the electrons which are present over there. And the next thing which you have to remember is the octet rule. That is, 2 electrons in the first orbital, next orbital contains 8 electrons, and after that onwards, 8 onwards. Maximum number. If a particular element is having less atomic number, then definitely that particular element may lack number of electrons in that shell, and that is its requirement. Maybe that element want to give that electrons if they are less in number and want to take from someone to complete its shell. Yes, the motto of all the elements is only one, that is to make themselves stable, and they will get stable if they have 8 electrons in their outermost shell. Now, yes students, so I am providing you the name of 1 to 25 elements with their atomic number today. Okay, go through them, learn them, and if you find any doubt in the formation of ions, ask to me. Next property, that is reactivity series. Again students, you have to learn the reactivity series as I provide you the trick for that. See, here is the trick. Please stop calling me a careless zebra. Instead, trying to learn how copper and mercury save gold and platinum. Okay students, it's a very easy trick in which P stands for potassium, S stands for sodium, C stands for calcium, M stands for magnesium, A for aluminium, C again for carbon, Z for zinc, I for iron, T for tin, L for lead, H for hydrogen, copper and mercury, S for silver, gold and platinum. Okay students, better learn it. Okay, after that, this is the list of 1 to 25 elements. Okay, see, 1 hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, neon, sodium, magnesium. 1 to 12 are lying on this page with their symbol. Okay students, now after that 13, 14 aluminium, silicon, phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine, argon, potassium, calcium, scandium, titanium, vanadium, manganese, iron. These are the 25 elements with their atomic number. see the breaking. See, if a particular element is having 15 atomic number, means first electron is having 2 electrons, first orbital is having 2 electrons, second 8. How many are there? 10 is complete. Now still 5 are left. Okay students, that 5 will enter in the last orbital. And now to complete its outermost shell, phosphorus needs 3 electrons. As you all know that phosphorus is a non-metal, that's why it is an acceptor. See, everything is clear by this, by the learning of atomic number, because phosphorus is having 5 electrons in their outermost shell. It means electrons, how many electrons phosphorus needs to complete its outermost shell is 3. Okay, and then phosphorus will become having stable 8 electrons in their outermost shell. That's why phosphorus is having 3 minus ions, because phosphorus is accepting 3 electrons. This is just an example. You can do all these elements. You can understand how much ions they all are having, how the breaking of atomic number takes place, what is octet rule. You will understand by learning these atomic numbers. Kindly learn them. Okay, after that let's begin with alloys. See students, what are alloys? A metal made by combining 2 or more metallic elements, especially to give greater strength or resistance to corrosion. See, let me explain you alloy by giving you a general example. See students, iron is a hard metal, very hard metal, heavy metal. Iron is having a number of qualities, but a major problem of iron is getting rust. Iron will get rust, will get react with oxygen and moisture present in the air. That's why it is difficult to use iron in any of the purpose alone, individually. See, if you start eating in the iron utensils, although we all are using steel utensils at our home, which is an alloy of iron. Steel is an alloy of iron. See students, what we had done, we are using iron, but to give a better strength or to avoid corrosion, as in the iron, to avoid corrosion, what we had done, we are mixing iron with some other metallic elements. We are adding some other metallic elements in iron for the manufacturing, for the making of utensils, and that new mixture of metal is known as alloy of iron, that is stainless steel, because steel will not rust. Okay students, so by making alloys of metals, we can improve them, we can avoid the disadvantages which is present in them, and we can use them easily. Okay, that's why alloys are very important and we are using them in our day-to-day life even more than metals. Okay students, see, as I am telling you the example of stainless steel, iron, chromium, nickel and carbon are combining together to form stainless steel. This is the group of metallic elements are combining together to form this alloy. See, brass is formed by mixing copper and zinc. Again, you all know that copper is also having a corrosive nature. It is copper forms malachite green. Okay, that is the corrosive nature of copper. And brass, by mixing zinc and copper, is used in making utensils. Not only utensils actually, brass is used in making the decorative items, door handles, curtain rods. Most of the time these things are made up of brass only. Okay, even we have some statues of brass also. Okay, we are using brass in different functions. Okay, now after that, bronze, copper and tin. Copper and tin. It is used in making coins, statues, medals. As the third position holder used to get bronze medal. Okay, which is made up of copper and tin. It is an alloy of copper. Okay, students. Now, what is this S in tin? Yes, it is the symbol of tin is based on its Latin name, stannum, Stannum. Okay, stannum is the Latin name of tin, from which the symbol of tin arises. Yes, now duralium, it is an alloy of aluminium. Aluminium, copper, magnesium and manganese are combining together to form duralium. Okay, students, it is also used to make the utensils and few more things. It is also used in aviation industries. Okay, in dairy industries for making the cold storages. Okay, students. Now, magnesium, aluminium and magnesium for the frame of aeroplanes. Yes, again magnesium, alloy of aluminium, is used in aviation industry. As you all know that aluminium is the lighter metal, and by improving the qualities of aluminium, by making its alloy, we are using them for different purposes. Okay, students, I think it is clear for you all. Now, your classwork. Yes, students, design an activity to show that metals react with oxygen under different conditions. Yes, write it down, this question, long question number 1 in your notebook. Yes, have you all done? Okay, now start writing the answer. Metal reacts with oxygen to form metal oxides. Metals react with oxygen to form metallic oxides. You all know these things. And these metallic oxides are basic in nature. Okay, students? Now, metal plus oxygen to form metal oxide. You can take any of the example. Means sodium plus oxygen to form sodium oxide. Calcium plus oxygen to form calcium oxide. Okay, students, potassium plus oxygen to form potassium oxide. Okay, now there we are going to discuss an activity. See, burning a magnesium ribbon by holding it with a pair of tongs. We are holding the magnesium ribbon with the pair of tongs. Tong, do you know? Do you familiar with the word tong? Yes. It is a type of plucker, okay, to which we can hold, we can keep something, we can transport one thing from one place to another. It is just a spoon like holder, okay, holder like a spoon. Yes. Collect the residue left after burning in the glass dish. See, whatever is burnt, that calcium ribbon, okay, after burning, we are collecting, what we are doing, we are collecting the residue in a glass dish. Okay, now dissolve it in water to make a solution. Now test it for litmus paper. See, students, we are performing this much of activity, and this activity is the proof of this. See, when we are reacting a particular metal with the oxygen, means burning. Burning is in the presence of oxygen only. We are burning magnesium ribbon. We can take example of crackers also. By holding a pair of tongs, collect the residue. See, whatever is formed. See this one, metallic oxide. Now we are burning magnesium. Oxygen means magnesium oxide. We are collecting in a glass dish. Now dissolve it in water to make the solution. Now we are adding water in the magnesium oxide. What happens? Whatever is happening, we are testing that particular thing with litmus paper, because the situation is saying metallic oxides are basic in nature. What will happen with litmus paper? See, red litmus paper will turns to blue, and if we are using blue litmus paper, it does not show any change, because blue color is the indication of the presence of base. Clear, as you have studied in your previous class. Now students, after that, see what is our observation in this answer. When magnesium burns in air, it combines with oxygen to form magnesium oxide, basic in nature. Magnesium, oxygen, magnesium oxide. Balancing, because oxygen is 2, that's why we are applying 2 over here. And by the application of 2, magnesium will become 2. That's why we are putting 1, 2 over here. Okay? Later on we will study about balancing equation. Now after that, this magnesium oxide we are collecting in the glass dish. Okay? And now adding water to make a solution. Here we are dissolving that magnesium oxide in water, and what is formed? Magnesium hydroxide solution. Magnesium hydroxide is a base. Do you remember? This base is present in the acidity syrups. Yes, it is present in acidity syrups. Base. Remember? Yes, magnesium hydroxide turns red litmus to blue, which shows that magnesium oxide is basic oxide. Clear? I think by this activity we have this observation is clarifying that oxygen reacts under different conditions. Clear, everyone? Now after that, your homework. Yes, your homework is short question number 7. List 3 advantages of making alloy by giving examples. See students, you can write 3 examples of any of the alloy. Although the answer of advantages of alloy is mentioned in the book, okay, in the stanza alloy, but you can write the answer by your own also. Okay students, thank you everyone.